Well, welcome to a Pastor's Cafe, and guess what? We've got a new mystery or two on our hand. Stay tuned for episode number 41, and we will be right back. Well, welcome back to a Pastor's Cafe. I am your host, David. I am here with Pastor Steve Kern, and today's episode is Hidden Truths, End Times, and Biblical Prophecy. Are you excited about today's episode?
I'm excited.
Well, I tell you what, we got some fun things to talk about today. Hopefully our listening audience is ready for a new journey into some hidden truths.
And some heavy speculation.
Okay, we got a 100% chance of heavy speculation today. All right, so here we go. Question number 1 deals with the Illuminati and biblical prophecy. Could secret societies, such as the Illuminati or the New World Order, actually fit into biblical prophecies about the end times, or are they simply products of imagination and fear? Dun, dun, dun!
Well, I think you could say that, yeah, there's a lot of imagination going on there.
Like in our episode right now?
Yeah. But, secret societies and all, you've got, there are secret societies out there. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of, the Illuminati concept goes way, way back.
Sure, yeah.
To the early church and all. And the idea of New World Order, to me, the New World Order concept really is foundational for the Antichrist, because when you think in terms of the coming of the Antichrist, that's all about establishing a whole new world order.
Yes, kind of like in Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
The rise of the dark side, the New World Order, and this is how a republic dies, with thunderous applause. Sorry, I'll stop talking about Star Wars.
So different. The idea of a new world order and the Antichrist really is what has been the order up till now. Mm-hmm. Basically, foundationally, Christianity, that kind of a thing, is kind of like the major religion of the world. There's other large ones too, but and so. The New World Order and the idea of establishing one world government, it all works together. When you really read in the Revelation and other prophecies about the coming Antichrist, in order for the Antichrist to become a leader of the world, there has to be a one world government. That's talking about a one world government. That's what that is, where he is ultimately the everything is kind of turned over to him, and he's like the answer to everything. And then after a period of time, he decides to finally come out of the closet and declare that he sees himself as being God and that he's to be worshipped.
So could this be a human being on Earth, Zelensky, and then his body, his brain gets infused with AI technology and it becomes transhuman, which becomes Satan? Is that a possibility?
I don't see why he has to be infused with AI. I mean, most people are pretty good at it left to themselves. Let anybody go on to worry about AI. There's so much of that out there now. Good grief. But anyway.
Yeah, I have agents right now working against you right now. They're plotting. They're listening to every single word, and they're reporting it back to the government. Yeah. They're coming after you.
Yeah, really.
They're at the... No, I'm just joking. All right, go ahead. Well, I didn't mean to derail our conversation.
No. Hey, You do have the Masons that are, in a sense, kind of a Illuminati concept. And it goes back, and of course you have the history in our country where it seems that a lot of the leadership in back then were a part of the Mason secret society kind of a thing. So there is a history of those kinds of organizations in existence. And of course, I think in terms of in the financial situation, you know, the families that are supposed to be, you know, the Rockefellers and the folks over in Germany that are supposed to get together every year and determine how they're going to kind of regulate the way things go on in the world financially to kind of keep things under control or keep things moving in the direction they want it to be going. A lot of that kind of stuff apparently going on that really isn't beyond the truth. It's obviously taking place to some extent. So yeah, the Bible, God knew what was coming, and really when you read a lot of Revelation especially, and you start seeing what it says and comparing it and putting it together with what's going on, it's reasonable to begin to say, hey, you know, this may be a fit.
Yeah, sure.
Thing. Which, as far as a Christian is concerned, the main thing we need to be doing is, regardless of what it's all, we just need to be being faithful to what we believe and continue to be doing what we know we're supposed to be doing.
Sure.
Regardless of what's coming.
Yep.
Because the Lord's told us what to be doing until He comes. You know, sharing the gospel and
taking a deep dive into AI and
what?
It's conspiracy theories. Isn't that what the Lord's supposed to do? Make sure you stay relevant on what's happening today and the latest technology.
Here's the difference right now.
Uh-oh. Am I going to get lectured?
And in the early, this is what John and the others were dealing with, especially John in his writing, First John and all, is the concept of Gnosticism and secret knowledge, and that kind of thing. It was infiltrating the church.
Yeah,
and that's the wonderful thing I love about Christianity. It's out front. There's nothing to hide.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, you know, the mystery, there's no more mystery.
Sure. Yeah.
Christ come and the Son of God dying on the cross and fulfilling all the prophecies in the Old Testament. There's no mystery there anymore.
Yeah.
It's all out there. And I don't really, God doesn't want us out there pushing mysteries. He wants us out there pushing the truth.
Gotcha.
That we know to be true historically and on the basis of what we see having happened historically from the time of Christ. Well, actually, from the time of the prophecies in the Old Testament that got fulfilled by Jesus in the New and are continuing to be fulfilled even up to now. So I don't know why people just can be so susceptible to the mysteries and all those kinds of things when you just get into the Bible and read it for what it has to say and compare it to with what's going on and seeing that Jesus, how things are going to be as you go along, you know. It's all in there. There's no mystery.
Yeah.
We don't need any mystery.
But that's how we're wired. We like a good mystery.
Oh, yeah.
We like to take a deep dive down rabbit trails and...
Well, and it is interesting to where you have these different cults that get started. You know, somebody comes up with some kind of an idea or something that they're declaring that they've had a revelation and all, and, you know. But
well, good. Then we have a new Bible out then. Hey, we talked about that last week, didn't we?
Yeah, well, there's I don't know. Yeah, there are some translations out there that are really kind of
Oh, yeah.
undermining what the truth really is. So, yeah, there's a lot of that going on too.
All right, here we go. We are off to the second topic. This second question deals with the mark of the beast and modern technology. Ooh, I'm so excited about this one. With the advancements in technology like digital currencies, microchip implants, and AI surveillance, and just AI in general, are we witnessing the fulfillment of the biblical mark of the beast, or is this a conspiracy theory taken out of context?
Well, we know it's not necessarily a conspiracy because these kinds of things are happening. AI, we're beginning to become more and more aware of how broad its possibilities are becoming.
Oh yeah, and it's changing by the day.
Yeah.
China is now really pedal to the metal on outdoing, like Chat GPT.
Yeah.
That's and also Grok 3 that's been released. Elon Musk.
Yeah.
We live in unusual times,
Yeah.
and now we have AI agents. And you can assign agents to do tasks for you, and it takes over your computer. Isn't that nice to know? It can respond to your emails. Isn't that cool? It can think like you. Now, here's the scary thing, though, is that people give way too much power to AI, then we become a slave to AI.
Well, one thing we have to remember about AI, that AI is still a product of a machine.
That's right, and it's a tool. And it's a tool that can be used effectively, or it can be used very poorly.
Well, and AI is totally and completely dependent on the input of the information that is in it. And
Until now.
Okay. Well,
Self-aware. Have you seen the movie Terminator?
Anyway, and this idea of digital currency, that seems to play very well into the concept of not being able to buy and sell unless you've got the mark. That kind of, whether that's the way it's going to work or not, it certainly is an eye opener to the idea that the possibility of we finally getting to the point to where we're going to have to be ready to find other ways to. Black market, not a black market, but trading. Okay, I'll give you so many eggs for.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, we do a lot of shopping at the local co-op, for meats and things like that. But we are on a slippery slope here when it comes to digital currencies. I think the thing that woke up a lot of people was COVID.
Yeah.
You want a driver's license in this state? Well, you have to have your COVID shots.
Oh.
And so providing that mark of the beast, I think that really kind of, even your average churchgoer or even your average citizen, I think a lot was revealed. The power of the government and the power of this one world order that's coming about, of how powerful they are and how crazy insane we became as individuals.
Right.
I mean, in Kansas City, I remember my brother and some family members had to have a Thanksgiving outside, but then you can only have 10.
Yeah.
And if you saw 10 or more people gathered outside, social distancing, you were supposed to call a hotline so they can be basically not arrested, but cited for it and be given a ticket for it.
Well,
insane.
The church that I pastored, I was retired by the time COVID hit, but they decided they would try to have church in the parking lot. In other words, everybody sitting in their cars, somebody's out there preaching, and they could be listening through the radio or whatever. Well, the police came and told them they couldn't do that. I mean, it was illegal for them to do that. They were meeting in the cars.
Crazy.
But it just goes along with, how about fear-mongering.
How about this one? So I was in Kansas City again visiting my brother, and, we were all mask-free down here. But my brother said, Now, before you enter the restaurant, we went to a Mexican restaurant, you have to put your mask on. I thought, are you serious?
Yeah.
So you walk in the restaurant with a mask on, and we're all like close together. And then once you sit down at the table, you can take your mask off.
Oh, well.
I mean, no one could explain that to me. I asked several people in the medical industry, would you please explain to me the rational thinking that takes place, the walking in a building with a mask on, but once you sit down at a table in which you're closer in proximity, that it's safe? Explain that to me.
Yeah.
Well, because that's what the government said.
Yeah.
That's what Mr. Science, Dr. Fauci said.
You go online and you start reading about these masks, and they're saying that the COVID viruses and everything are so small that even no matter how dense they are, it's like trying to stop a fly with a chain link fence. They made that comparison, and so I'm saying, so they're saying really, what's the point? Because they really don't do any good anyway. Yeah, and. So there was a lot of that going on out there. And so what do you do then? You start wondering, okay, what is this all about? Mm-hmm. We know that there's information that's telling us this one thing, and there's information over here that's telling us. So what do you start doing? You start losing confidence in the very people that you're supposed to be having confidence in.
That's right.
And so... And that's really, I think, when you start thinking in terms of the beast, the modern technology, all that stuff, is there's going to be a whole lot of that kind of stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
Creating people just in kind of like, oh, dear me, fear-mongering, and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, well, speaking of that, okay, so this is what I see happening. And this is just pure speculation. Why not? We are on a pure speculation trip today. Oh. Anyway, well, I am. You're not. I am. Okay? All right. So this is what I kind of see happening. Yeah. I see them using, they call it like astro projection. Mm-hmm. I see them using AI and some kind of way of projecting. An alien race is going to invade and do something terrible. But we little people on Earth are going to unite in a one world government, because we can't do the COVID thing again. We've already done that. So they're going to try that. They're trying it again. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. So I can see the deep state coming up with how they can stage an alien invasion or a presence through astral projection that's going to be so big and massive that we're going to be like, we might follow it, or maybe it's going to kill us. So we have to unite as a one world government, and then we unite as humanity. And then all of a sudden, the beast comes in, Satan comes in, and that's how it's all going to end. And then we're going to be raptured out of here. And then Wormwood is going to be so close to the earth in, 2 years? Or is it 2032? I forget. I'll have to. All right. Take another deep dive. But Wormwood is on its way to earth.
Dear me.
Now, I'm just having fun. But of course. I tell you, this is interesting.
Now, wait a minute, though. When you think in terms of the devil trying to get rid of the idea that there's a God, and you've got this concepts out here of evolution, and that evolution, if evolution happened, then why wouldn't it happen on other planets out in the universe? Establishing or creating the concept of the possibility of aliens. So then, if the devil comes along then and says, okay, here's what we're going to do, my little demon friends. We're going to start acting like we are spaceships and we're moving around and, and giving things for people to look at to make them think that there are aliens, drones and stuff, using those kinds of things to get people away from thinking about God and creation and start really buying into the evolutionistic concept.
Now, do you really see people being very interested in that?
That's the only thing they teach in the colleges and in our schools. You kidding me? Huh?
I'm just joking. Yeah.
I mean, you know.
But yeah, it's a great tactic. It does. It draws you into that worldly thing going on, the latest and greatest thing that happens. We're not chasing a shiny penny, but we're chasing these conspiracy theories, and we're getting away from God and focusing on godly things and focusing on worldly things.
Well,
yes.
Yeah. Well, one thing about these sightings and stuff is, and I think I made this point before, but when they look at these so-called spaceships and stuff, they're acting outside of the laws of physics, which makes it very clear that they're not a part of the physical.
Gotcha.
They're sometime of the supernatural.
Yeah, sure.
And that's why you have a lot of folks that really have seen, and they're saying, no, that's got to be a demonic kind of a thing, or extra natural. It's not natural, because if it was natural, they'd be operating within the laws of physics.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's a great argument against the whole thing, and really exposes what Paul says, that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and high places. And it seems like that's even becoming more obvious.
Sure.
In the natural realm, with all these sightings and stuff going on now.
Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we have time for one more question. We're going to talk about secret books of the Bible. Did you know there were secret books? Here we go.
Yes.
Well, let me go through the question here, and then we'll address it. Some theories claim that certain books were deliberately left out of the Bible to hide truth. Is there historical or biblical evidence that the Bible we have today was intentionally altered or censored to control knowledge?
Well, there are books that have been left out, but I don't think they were intentionally left out to hide truth. I think they were intentionally left out because they were confusing the truth. Especially the writings after the time of Christ, and these different writings that were claiming to be gospels, the gospel of these different other guys, which we find later that actually the authors were, a couple hundred years after the time of the real writing. And so, but they're excluded because when they had the process of canonization, the whole idea was they had certain requirements that a writing had to fulfill in order to be accepted as biblical, or as from God. And so they were left out because they didn't measure up to the requirements. And that's pretty much the way with the apocryphal writings back before the time of Christ, during the Maccabean period, Enoch and all of those. Now, those books have some value to them because they do give information about the period of time at that time, and the kinds of culture and things that were going on, what the false religions were like, and how they worked and all. But they weren't. They really weren't accepted as canonical. Because they didn't fit within the criteria that they required for them to be understood to be biblical.
Sure.
So, but really, they were left out, but they weren't left out to hide truth. They were left out so they didn't confuse the truth.
Gotcha. Good.
That was the really reason why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So of today, which questions were your favorite? Which one was your favorite?
Well, I think I kind of like that last one the best.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
Good deal.
But there were good questions.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, there are things that people are wondering about or need to know about. Or need to be informed about.
Mark of the Beast. I think that one is very interesting because that does really kind of.
Everybody's into it.
Everyone's into it and kind of curious how this is all going to come about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Christians that believe we are in the last days. Of course we are in the last days.
Yeah.
But just to kind of see how all this is playing out because things are very interesting worldwide.
Right. Well, and that's one reason why I don't see the immediacy of the second coming, because I do believe that there has to be a one world government either in place or ready to be established for a one world leader to be ready to step in and take over.
Gotcha.
That's kind of how I see it.
Okay, good deal. Well, thanks for your polite conversation today. All right.
Well, I hope it helps.
Oh, yeah, help me out. You kind of like help me get reined in, so refocus the attention here on what we're supposed to be talking about. All right. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode number 41.
Wow. Yeah.
So we will see you next week on episode number 42. Until then, take care and bye-bye.